And this a commentary. This is the 100 laps of Richmond, 25% no stages. However, damage is on, and I also done no stages in it. I think I done mentioned that. I did go back and reconfigure the car's paint scheme back to its original version. Actually, one of the saving features of this game is this paint booth. And if anybody is curious, the original Ghost of Dale paint scheme took me 9.5 hours to complete, all total. Now that I'm kind of familiar with how to put the shapes together, I could probably get the car done in under 4 hours if I worked on it just steady. Um, if anybody has Ignition 21, which I know not many of you do, but if you do have it and got a good connection, I got Cash App, and I can do it over SharePlay, or the last I checked, I could do it over SharePlay. Let me put it that way. I was able to SharePlay with somebody and actually do things to their car on their screen. So it can be done if anybody's interested. I am on PlayStation 4 though. I don't do Xbox, mainly because I don't like buying a new system every 2 years because they burn up on you. This console ever, hands down. And I hope PlayStation Corporation keeps it up, man. Keep on, don't sell out to that whole, it's an American ideal is what it is about making, like a Chevrolet done it back in the day, back in the 80s. They'd make a car, it's a piece of crap, it lasts 5 years, and you had to buy another car, you know. That's Xbox. It has the American business mentality to it. But however, PlayStation, being it's not an American company, they take pride in their work, man. That's why the Asian market's taken off. They still put pride and craftsmanship in their work, and we over the years have neglected to do that. So this is the results of it. So sorry to the Xbox people out there. No offense, but you couldn't get me to buy one. I've owned 3 of them in my life, and every one of them burned up. One of them within the first day I had it. Red Ring of Death, buddy. The day I bought it. Now I give it was a refurbished one, but nonetheless. However, the people at GameStop, they was faithful in making it right by me. So at the time I take it back. I think it was KB Toys or KB Games or something like that. It was they was good to me. They made it right. And I traded in for a PlayStation, by the way, which still works. I no longer have it in my possession, sad to say, but it does still function. And my original PlayStation 1 from 1998, even though it is no longer my possession, it still functions correctly. So there you go. You got a game system that lasts. If you take care of it and nothing unforeseen happens to it, power surges and whatnot, I believe a PlayStation can last a lifetime. I really do. Whereas good luck on that with the Xbox. No way that can happen. So when it comes to game systems, it seems like that PlayStation has got everybody beat. And for what it's worth, this game, if unless you just exclusively do league racing, this game's worth the look. I mean, if you can get it for the right price, it is worth getting. Playing around on it, they got it fixed up to where you can race on it now. A totally different driving feel though, or at least my experience being it's quite a bit different than what's been on past games. the E3 against a 3 car. It looks like that 3 car is going to show that Young and how it's done. Now, I do got this thing set up on, I think it's hard, and I think Legends is the hardest one you can get to. Uh, some tracks I might be able to compete on the Legends level, but I'm either on hard or expert right now. I'm not sure, because Legends is the worth getting and taking a look at. Getting used to it's a total relearn, just about, on how the car handles. The benefits is, though, it's a real good hand-eye coordination workout, so when you get back on the previous NASCAR game, um, it really benefits your ability to drive the car. So if nothing else, for people who wants to get a hand-eye coordination workout, specifically on the controller, I'm not sure how the wheels work, the steering wheels work on this game. I've heard that I think Fanatic or Fanatec or however you say it does work on here, and there's one more that I heard is compatible with this game. But it's I've been and this is race 7 of 20. I did not put that in the title like I usually do. There is a couple of tracks on here that still I question. On the new season, on the Gen 7 side, they brought Auto Club back. They took a road course. I guess maybe in that schedule they didn't do the Daytona road course. I don't watch NASCAR on a regular basis anymore. I do still watch maybe 15-minute highlights or whatever, but most of my driver knowledge and team knowledge actually comes from the game. That's how I keep up with it. So, like, next year changes, I wouldn't know about till the game comes out. Unless I just happen to catch it on YouTube or something, which is about all I watch. I don't even watch regular TV no more, for the simple fact there's usually not nothing on worth watching. Unless it's an Alabama football game. Now, I will watch Daytona traditionally. I do try to catch a Daytona race if I can. I will still watch the race at Bristol, just because of by default. And Talladega, and a few of the mile-and-a-half tracks I'll watch if I catch them, if I get a chance to catch them. Richmond's one of those tracks I kind of got the hang of a little bit. I still have a problem with the brake. I don't know. Maybe I might need to set up my controller for this game. I might need to look that one up. I don't know, but I've not really took time. I've just not had time to really fool with it. There's no way to league race on this game, so I'm not taking it as serious as I would, the previous game, because I still use it to league race with. But nonetheless, man, the hand-eye coordination workout with this game it will improve your skills overall. So it's worth that to me, just to have that ability to get on here and practice up, kind of use it for practice. And I enjoy the paint schemes, man. I'm born an Earnhardt fan, technically. Well, not really. Yeah, kind of. I was being born about the time he was getting famous, so I gotta say I was a lifelong Earnhardt fan, man. There's never been another one. And they never will. There never will be another Earnhardt Sr. That will never happen. I definitely respected what Junior did in the sport. Definitely left his mark. Got to respect 26 wins. But the actual person, the actual person, Dale Earnhardt, outside the track, he was just an amazing individual. The things he could achieve. Definitely, probably the only role model I ever had. The 2 times I got to see him, the only time I was ever anything close to starstruck was I've came across and met quite a few race car drivers and celebrities. And these days, I wouldn't even know a famous person if I saw them, because I don't keep up with that stuff. So even if I saw somebody who was a modern day celebrity, I wouldn't know the difference anyways. And then I wouldn't care anyways. Just put it out there. But there is some old school NASCAR drivers I would like to meet. Junior's one of them. I'd love to have a chance to meet Earnhardt Jr. I did see him at an autograph signing one time, but I didn't get in that line. I didn't get nobody's line. I was just there just for the sake of having something to do, and I don't like standing around in line, so I usually skip all that. I mean, if I ain't going to stand in the autograph line for Dale Earnhardt himself, where do you stand? You know what I mean? Well, Earnhardt Sr. was at autograph signing on State Street in Bristol one time, and he threw a Sharpie pen my way, which I assume was meant for me because of something I had shouted out to him, which I will not repeat. It was positive, but I told him to come up this weekend, which he smiled at me, which I guess he kind of liked that. So, but the lady in front of me caught the pen, and I wasn't gonna make no issue about it. Wasn't worth it. The memory, the memory I still got. The pen's probably long gone. You know, that was a season or two before his unfortunate incident, which is the last full race I even watched up until the last full race I watched after that was when Chase Elliott won at Watkins Glen. You know, that's kind of when I started favoring Chase Elliott. I couldn't honestly call myself a Chase Elliott fan because I don't keep up with the sport to that degree. But if I was going to be once again watching the race tonight, Chase Elliott's who I would definitely pull for. Definitely think that's probably between him and Kyle Larson and you know stuff like that. It's probably some of your future greats coming up through the field. Eric Jones also is a hell of a driver. Oh, I just now got hooked. You see me come up too early and just get hooked? Yeah, that was actually the brakes. When I hit the brakes, I pumped them just a little bit too hard, and it turned my car right. And once we get past the caution, which is what this is, it went to a caution after that. See if I can change the screen here real fast. There we go. Graphically speaking, I would have to say that they really done a good job on this game. The graphics overall are, I mean, the light shines, there's a lot of the daylight will actually change during the race. Like while the race is going on, the sun will slowly set. Stuff like that. Now, I have noticed in the past, which I have not noticed lately, but in the past, it would glitch when the light changed on the screen. It would freeze. And another one of the past glitches was at the road course at Daytona. If you flip the car, it wouldn't let you ever get past the race. Therefore, your career would not continue. So that would be a glitch. That's all fixed. Never brought on that I know of a rear view mirror. Even with the later updates, I do drive from inside the car off the hood is the view I use. But they do have indicators behind you. Once you learn how to read the dots at the bottom of your screen on your hood view, then it's just as good as a rear view mirror. So I'm going to, I think the rear view would have just been more for it's actually on the car, so there it should actually be on the car. Is the only complaint I would have about that. Is, if you sit inside of a stock car, you see a mirror on your left, and they have the I guess you call them dome mirrors that allows you to get that full view behind you. They also have those, so just for that sake, they should have put it on here. The rumor, as I heard, said they didn't have the technology to make it happen, but that's kind of silly when they've been on every other racing game in the past. I guess that's the same excuse, as good as any. Same one NASA used while we ain't been back to the moon. So I guess that's as good as any. But otherwise, on the flip side, the graphics are nice. I do enjoy the Circuit of the Americas track on here. They have Nashville. I question the amount of braking it takes to get into the corner. I don't know if that would be accurate or not, but nonetheless, the track is on here. Bristol Dirt's on here. Um, that's another track that takes a lot of getting used to. But once you get the hang of it, you can. I'll be there. That's the next race. It's the Bristol Dirt Race. I'm going to bring to you a very special paint scheme with that one, where it all began. And you don't give me a paint booth and expect I'm going to buy any paint schemes off of you. You do have different views on here, I think. Go to the full screen a second. Uh, yeah, they're on the left at the bottom of the driver's name. Um, they got this lock on the camera. I guess I don't know why it locks on the camera like that, but if you push the square button, it gives you different views. But I don't know if you can. Yeah, you can kind of pick them. You go see where it's on highlighting the camera on the left. You push square, and then you use your D-pad, and you change directions on where you want it on the car. And if you push up, it goes to the next number. Now the numbers do happen in sequence, one through whatever. I think 90. Double zero is the last number. So I did learn that there is no cars in the 80s on Cup. So. You do have the option to get different views on it. If you keep on pushing right, it keeps on doing different. So I'm pushing right on my D-pad. I push left, it just opposites. It gives you the rear view. That's kind of cool. I kind of like that feature, man. That's good. And the graphics, man, you got to admit the graphics are top notch, man. They done a real good job on that. So that's definitely a good. Had it not been for such a disastrous launch of the game, and the fact that you cannot league race on it, which is, I mean, come on, that's the bait. It's like you're taking away the foundation of the game. What makes it great is that you can build a community and have a group of people that you can enjoy, a day or two a week with to hang out with the guys and compete in some e-racing. I mean that. You're taking away the most best part of the game, the best feature of the game. You're taking that equation out. I mean, that alone right there is something that's going to not be able to sell the game. Now, the paint booth is definitely a good feature. I wish they had that, on some of the most recent NASCAR games that they've come out with. They did not. Nothing like this. The last game was, 15. Was the last game that had a good paint booth, and that's actually where 14 is where I started learning that I had a talent for it. Once I figured out how to manipulate those shapes, and I've actually laid down and drawed something and go through and try to make the shapes outside of it so I could recreate it on the game, and that's kind of how I do it. Now, past games had text and a brush to where you can actually make the logo and then apply it to the car. This game you have to build everything on the car, which adds a new challenge, which I like because I like being challenged. I'm one of those type of people. I try to, challenge at least my brain, since that's about the only thing that half works on me anymore. So I do at least try to keep that working out. And those who know me best probably say that's a good thing. Just saying. But yeah, definitely no complaints on the graphic work. I mean, look at that. That's beautiful. I mean, that's almost real looking. That's real close. And the people, the way they did the crowd, the audience, the spectators, I like that too. That was improvement from the past. I was hoping they'd have one on this where it lets you see the inside view, but I don't think it would let you go an inside view. But even though the cars are in sequence, man, you can still use it with your overview as traditionally you did. It still pretty much has the same functions as far as that goes. I do think you have more of a realistic look to it than what they've had in the past. It's a little bit less cartoonish, so to speak. So, that's an improvement. The light glare off the cars, the way the light rolls on the cars, the way the cars react in different lightings. The game will change lighting throughout the race. In the past, it did have a glitch in that. I've not experienced it lately at the races that, because I don't use stages normally. Some races I use stages on, but I don't use stages on. When I do a 50%er, I put the stages on. When I do a 25%, I leave them off, which most of my races will be 25%ers from here on out for the rest of the season. I will do 50% stages on the Charlotte race when I have it. And I'm trying to think of a paint scheme alteration. I don't want to have to build one up, again. I did have a half of mine to make the Gen 7, the Wrangler car. That's what I'm leaning towards right now. But then again, I might use one of my old 15 paint schemes, the one I called Two-Face, where it was a Wrangler car on one side and the Good Wrench car on the other. I thought about doing that to the Gen 7, but instead I was going to try to do like an old school paint scheme on one side, like one of his real old school ones. Then do the another one on the other side, but I don't know. It's the hood, you get a lot of space to use. You get like 1,200 blocks, but on the sides they only give you 200, which I guess that's to stop people like me from making, real elaborate schemes. I don't know. But on the hood, you can really make something happen. So, and this current scheme, what the configuration my scheme's in right now, it has the plus underneath that. Actually, built all that over the plus that was originally on the car. So the plus is still on the hood. It's just underneath all that. And I done that just for the sake, if I ever wanted it back, I just delete that. But I'm going to keep it like this. I'm probably not going to take it back to the other one. I did finish the K2 car. That one got complete, which I let it out the bag. That's the scheme I'm going to use at Bristol, is the K2 car. And I'm going to use it as a Ford, because it was a Ford. It was a Ford Crown Vic, I think, or Ford Victoria, whatever they called it. I think that's what it was. And I'm going to use it as a Ford. So the Bristol car will be a Ford. The K2 car, I done a relatively good job. I did have to the way that the sponsor's written on the original car, I didn't do that exactly because of space. I had to condense the space. Now I did go back and put the name Dale on the bottom of the window, like it was on the car where it said Dale, but I did not put the three names. I'm not sure what the names were. I have to go back and look. I did not put those names on there. Basically just for space reasons. I didn't want to use up space. I might want to. I got a half a mind to skin over that with the. Actually, the K2 car is a skin over. It was put over the Georgia National Championship car. But I have since went back and deleted that car off because I'm gonna have to make a new one. So hey, that old one's plenty documented. I got a picture that lasted longer. Now, we'll be starting the Gen 7 season soon, hopefully by spring. I'll start my Gen 7 season on this, which I'm going to use a different car. I'm just going to be my own custom car. I'm going to go back to the 29 and use it on the custom Gen 7 season. So that will also take place. But like I said, man, just for something to use for your personal time, hand-eye coordination workout, play at the paint booth, and this game is raceable. Now you can get on here and compete, but it's a total relearn. I mean, you're going to relearn the car because the tire effects on this game that's the primary focus is the tires. You have four choices. Basically, got a slider. You got four choices for a setup. Now you can push the square button and set your car up going into your first pit stop and get something like a setup, because you can change track bar wedge, tire pressures. You can add tape, take away tape. A couple more things. I forgot exactly what it said, but well, of course, fuels and tires. That'd be it. So that you can do all that, and it does affect it, you know. But yeah, and another thing about this game, instead of your car getting extremely loose with four tires, it seems like it gets tighter. Like you really got to let off the gas a whole lot more on the entrance of the corners. Many of your, I guess, many of your paint schemes on this are I mean, majority of them are the same thing you had in the previous game. There is a few differences, I guess, where. But what is cool, the Brad Keselowski number 6 car, Gen 7, they do update all that for the next round, and there's some different tracks. I have honestly not been through all of the tracks on the 22 side of the game. Uh, I've not really played with it a whole lot. I have created some paint schemes on it. Uh, I have driven the car quite a bit. The Gen 7 car is a different animal. It's like when you're driving it, it's like it's solid grip on the track and acceleration. You know, so you don't it drives better, the Gen 7, than this car does. It's a lot more. It's a lot easier to get around the track. The brakes work a lot better, but the acceleration, man, you can actually start fishtailing it. You know, really got to be. It's focused on you know, gas and how you use your throttle. Um, it focuses a lot on that, because like tracks like Richmond and some of your mile and a halves, that car will actually it's just straight on that ground and back tires. I guess it's supposed to be simulating that rear diffuser. I guess is what the simulation of that is, but it can actually get out of shape and bust you into the wall. Like it just starts as soon as you feel it get upset. You gotta let off the gas. But it makes for some real challenging racing. I mean, because the other cars are going through the same thing. They're experiencing the same effects. So you can still get some good racing going. But it's you kind of got to relearn it. You know, you can't approach this game drive wise as you did in previous games in the past. It's totally different. Because going from 15 to the next game was pretty similar. Actually 15 was harder if you use setups and you get the faster on the edge setups. It was a lot harder of a game, than the Heat editions were. But overall, now currently, had this game came out today in the condition that it is presently in, uh, except for the inability to league race, I would have still bought the game for the right price. I would still spent the $48 on it. Now, for those people who initially went out there and bought that other edition, that one that had all the add-on paint schemes and stuff, I feel sorry for that. It's about $100 game, and it was high dollar. But I bought the day one edition, and once I saw it had a paint booth on it, yeah, I don't need your paint schemes. I can make my own fairly easy. Well, it's not easy. It's time consuming, and there is a lot to learn. So you got that whole aspect of it. And also, another thing about this game is if you take race now features and build on that, then you're able to um, kind of you take the race now feature and make your own schedule. You can configure the tracks how you like them. You can configure the races how you like them. You can put it on complex damage. Now, when you put it on complex damage, your tire blow out if you hit the wall. You can get different things happen. But as far as the like the road course, like Daytona road course, it takes a lot of getting used to. There's a lot more backing your car up into the corners, into the it's a different experience. You really can't understand until you do it yourself. But now that they have all the patches and fixes, and I've saved them into my memory, I'm gonna keep them with the system. But yeah, I'm currently happy with the game. But now I bought the first day it came out, so I was definitely one of the first people to make what I thought be known. Yeah, this configuration paint scheme I call Black Magic number 2. I will be putting here on here soon. I meant to do it earlier, but it just slipped my mind. I got busy with the holidays. I'm going to hook up the old PlayStation 3, and we're going to look at some of those old classic paint schemes I used to build. Um, which I still get on 15 and do paint schemes sometimes, man. I get on there and still play around with it. So we'll be taking a look at that later on. I'm gonna have to film it off the old phone though because I don't have no broadcast ability on PlayStation 3, of course. But I still get it on here where you can see them. My cell phone it's got pretty decent quality picture. It'll be good enough for this. And you'll get to see all the original. I got the Tasmanian Devil car. I got Wrangler. I had the capabilities to make all the Wrangler cars, but currently right now I only have the 1986 paint scheme or the 85. Um, Now I did do only one. Like I said, it's only 100 laps, so this should only be 45 minutes of my rambling. I normally don't do commentary on them. I just do the footage, but I thought I'd get on here and just run my chops. Maybe I can brighten up somebody's day. I don't know. Yeah, the only now with this game in the paint booth, you have a lot less shapes than you've had in the past. So, uh, but I'm still basically, with the exception of a few things, circle, a square, and a triangle. You'd be surprised what all you can make happen within 3 shapes. You can make a lot happen with a circle, square, and a triangle. And you have the ability to skew it, stretch it, bigger, smaller. Skewing it kind of sets it offset. Like on the Hardy's car that I did, the Yeah, forgive me for the audio interruption. I had somebody had to. I had somebody try to talk to me real quick. They didn't know I was. They didn't know I was on here, and they snuck up on me. So, forgive me for that. So, but anyways, yeah, like I said, it's I like this game now. I mean, I would not pick it over. You know, it's the game before this because of the lack of the ability to league race. But as far as just getting on here and playing around and have my own little private season and being able to do make my own car that's just me, one of a kind, unique, and build my own seasons and stuff like that. The career mode's pretty cool. I have done a little bit in the career mode. I've not stuck with one yet because I really don't. I just like using my own cars. What it is. I make my own seasons, but all in all, it's worth a look. See, if you but if you're solely into league racing, definitely not the game for you. And y'all stay tuned, by the way, because, where everything's looking, if the good Lord's willing and the creeks don't rise, we're going to take a little road trip together. Yeah, that thing I was talking about earlier. And I'm going to do it in the mask. I'm bringing the mask, boys. I'm going with the mask. I have done got me a plan. I am allowed by law now with COVID to wear a full face mask to cover my whole face, and they was not. I don't think no things in there saying that you can't do that. So we're going to do that. So I will take the whole road trip in the old Convict 13. Get up, boys. Yours truly, the low budget talking head, goes on the road. And there's a lot of other good things seem to be unfolding in my world too. And I would like to take this time to mention next year I'm going to race in shout out to NASCAR racing. Tyler McMurder, man, that man, I was there back in the day with him. He really has. He has done an impressive thing, with his skill sets, and really made some real good leagues for people to come racing. Now he does slider racing only, but he has nonetheless put together a real good group of people, and the racing's tough. I mean, it is some tough racing over there. So I'm going to do that on the weekends, sometimes on Monday, and I'm going to stick around for any league that wants a broadcaster. Maybe give good old Convict here just a little bit of a tip, $5, maybe $10. I'll get on there and make it happen for you. Now, I can't control connections and everything like that, but I can ensure that I'm going to have a good connection. I don't know what was wrong with my hotspot last week, but it has not dropped me again. I don't know if it's just certain leagues with certain servers and connections and what all goes on in between here and there with certain people could play a role in that. Now, I do live close to Atlanta, Georgia, so around the holidays there's a lot of people in this town for various reasons. Could have been just the actual cell phone traffic going on. I'm not sure, but it seems to be resolved, and I actually turned my 5G off, and I'm having better results on my 2G, than I was having on my 5. So there you go. That 5G makes your picture on your TV look better, but it don't do nothing no different for none of this league racing as far as broadcast and everything else. That looks like the end of the race. I think that's it. Oh, got a problem coming into the pits. Looky there. That's a problem in the pits. Yeah, I think that's the end of the race. They are disappearing. We'll go there today, and you will see that I did end up finishing third. It was won by the 9 car, Mr. Chase Elliott himself. So that's it right there. Thank you for watching it, and stick around for the road trip. I'm going to have 2 channels. We'll let people know what the other channel is as that day comes closer. And thank you for watching it, man. Hanging out with me for a little while. Definitely going to hang around and do a lot more for the e-racing communities, and I'm happy to be a part of it, man. I'm happy to be a part of what's going on. It's I've got to know a lot of real good people, and it's been worth a while for me, and plenty to motivate me to go out there and try to level this stuff up and do the next best thing. I don't know, but hey, I look forward to it, and I look forward to broadcasting next season for everybody. Real good leagues with a lot of talent. I think we can put on a good show. So, well, anyways, there you have it. Thank you for watching, and hey, I look forward to full throttle racing tonight at Dover. That's going to be a good one. Stick around for that. And like always, boys, keep it between the lines.